We spend billions of dollars to build massive telescopes, staring into the infinite deep of space, hoping to find answers among distant galaxies. We look at the stars every night, terrified of being completely alone, yet desperate to find any sign of life. But as we broadcast our signals into the dark cosmos, we remain completely blind to a chilling reality. What if the universe is not an empty desert, but a crowded room where everyone is desperately trying to stay silent? Millions of advanced civilizations could be out there right now, yet space only whispers back with a dead, haunting silence. And perhaps there is a terrifying reason why nobody is answering our calls, and humanity is not ready to face the truth.
Think about the way we build nature reserves, setting up invisible fences around wild animals, watching them from a safe distance without ever making contact. To those creatures inside, their world feels completely wild and untouched, completely unaware that a much higher power is observing their every move. Perhaps our planet Earth is nothing more than a giant cosmic cage, a planetary zoo kept under strict quarantine by civilizations far more advanced than our own. They watch our modern cities expand. They listen to our radio waves bouncing through the dark, yet they choose to remain completely invisible to us. They might be waiting for our technology to mature, or perhaps they view us as too primitive, too violent to be invited into the cosmic community. The terrifying silence we hear from space is not an accident. It is a deliberate choice made by our keepers, and we are just trapped inside the glass.
But there is a much darker reason for this silence, a concept known as the dark forest theory, where the universe is imagined as a pitch-black woods at midnight. In this forest, every advanced civilization is a heavily armed hunter, moving through the trees like a ghost, trying desperately not to make a single sound. They know the forest is full of other deadly predators, and if a hunter reveals his position by stepping on a dry branch, he will be instantly destroyed in the dark. This is why we hear absolutely nothing from the stars, because every intelligent species knows that survival means staying completely quiet, hidden away from the predators. We have been broadcasting our location into the deep cosmos for nearly a century, shouting into the dark forest like foolish children, completely unaware of what might be listening. By trying to find friends among the stars, we might have accidentally invited our own destruction, and the hunters are already tracking our sound.
We assume that if aliens wanted to communicate, they would use radio signals or lasers, the exact same technologies we discovered just a century ago. But this assumption might be our biggest flaw, because an advanced civilization could be millions of years ahead of our primitive understanding of physics. They might be communicating through quantum entanglement, or using gravity waves that ripple across the fabric of space-time, completely passing right through our bodies without us ever noticing. To them, our radio transmissions are as ancient as smoke signals from a cave, a dead language that nobody in the modern universe even bothers to listen to anymore. We are standing on the beach of a cosmic ocean, shouting with a megaphone, wondering why the nuclear submarines deep underwater are not shouting back. They are not ignoring us because they hate us. They are ignoring us because our technology is too primitive to even register on their instruments.
If technology always moves forward,
then someone should have crossed the stars by now, leading us to a terrifying concept known as the Great Filter. This theory suggests that there is a massive, unbeatable wall in the timeline of every civilization, a barrier that almost no species can survive. It could be that once a civilization discovers nuclear energy or artificial intelligence, they inevitably end up destroying themselves before they can ever leave their home planet. The silence we hear might be the quiet remains of a cosmic graveyard where thousands of worlds grew advanced, built great cities, and then suddenly vanished into the dark. We look at the empty sky, wondering if we are the first ones to ever get this far, or if we are simply marching toward the exact same trap. Our own curiosity might be pushing us closer to this invisible wall, and we are running out of time before the filter catches up to us. But what if the empty sky is not a graveyard at all, but a deliberate design built into the very reality we see around us? Scientists and philosophers are starting to entertain a chilling idea that our entire universe is nothing more than a highly advanced computer simulation. In this digital matrix, the creators might have programmed the simulation with a strict limit, creating only one intelligent species to save on computational power. The distant stars and galaxies we see through our telescopes are just a background wallpaper, a beautiful illusion rendered on a cosmic screen that we can never actually reach. This would explain why every search for extraterrestrial life turns up absolutely nothing, because the code of our reality simply does not contain any other life forms. We are trapped in a closed loop, speaking into an empty program, shouting questions at an author who has already left the machine running on autopilot. If there is no code and no simulator, then the truth might be even more terrifying, forcing us to face the rare Earth hypothesis. We like to think that life is common throughout the universe, that planets like ours are spinning around every distant star we see. But the deeper science looks, the more we realize that the birth of intelligent life requires a chain of perfect, impossible miracles. From the exact size of our moon stabilizing our climate, to our giant neighbor Jupiter swallowing deadly asteroids for billions of years. We might be the accidental survivors of a cosmic lottery, a 1 in a trillion mistake that happened in a lonely corner of space. The dead silence we hear from the stars is not a game of hide and seek, and it is not a cosmic conspiracy to keep us in the dark. It is the literal, crushing reality that there is absolutely nobody else out there, and we are completely on our own. If we are not alone, then perhaps the intelligent civilizations that came before us are not dead, but simply waiting for the universe to change. This brings us to a mind-bending concept known as the Astrovation hypothesis, where advanced species have chosen to go into deep hibernation. They realized billions of years ago that the current universe is too hot and processing information consumes far too much energy right now. They are waiting for the cosmos to expand and cool down, a time when computers and digital minds can run trillions of times faster. They have transferred their entire consciousness into massive, silent supercomputers, hidden deep inside frozen asteroids or dead stars, sleeping through the eons. To our primitive eyes, their home planets look completely barren and deserted. But beneath the frozen surfaces, entire galactic empires are dreaming in silence. They are not responding to our signals because they are sleeping through our entire human history, waiting for the far future to wake up. As we continue to broadcast our existence into the cosmic dark, we must accept that the silence itself is the ultimate warning. Whether space is a dangerous dark forest, a controlled zoo, or a vast digital illusion, the truth remains out of our reach. Every telescope we build only confirms the limits of our understanding, showing us a beautiful, terrifying expanse that refuses to speak. Perhaps the answer to the Fermi Paradox is something our minds are simply not evolved enough to understand, a secret kept by the laws of physics. The next time you look up at the starry night sky, remember that the emptiness is not just empty space. It is a mystery that science cannot explain. We can keep searching, we can keep shouting into the dark, but we must be careful what we wish for. Because in a universe full of terrifying possibilities, the only thing more frightening than being completely alone is discovering that we are not.